enough continuing with where I left off. Twitch view botting is a huge issue. Go. But I'm gonna go deep dive into this a little bit differently today. So it is currently 8:24 a.m. Eastern Time, May 16, 2026. May 16, 2026, when I was recording this at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, around there, 8:24 a.m. Eastern Time. But we're not going to talk about that this day. If you like videos like these, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like. And because this is quite a niche topic, is Twitch view botting a thing? How many of the top content creators out there do you know Viewbot? How many of them on Kick Viewbot? Okay, forget about Kick. People Viewbot on Kick. I'm not stupid. Alright, what about Twitch view botting? Okay. Twitch view botting exists. That exists. No one debates that. Okay, but where? Does it exist on the top? Does it exist anywhere else? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. As a matter of fact, top 100, the top 100 people who are live streaming on Twitch, mainly on Twitch, regardless of where they stream it and how they stream it, are view botting their content, right? We already had this, right? We already had this discussion on this channel. I already told you IShowSpeed had their views view botted. I told you Kaisenet had their views view botted, right? Ludwig had their streams viewbotted before. CDogVA, Iron Mouse, CDogVA and Iron Mouse when they got viewbotted was a little different. Let me tell you, CDogVA has been different at different points of times, has been viewbotted against his own will. Right, that's not him. Iron Mouse had her stream viewbotted against her will, and again, also was really stupid. Right, against her will. Now, when I'm talking about like someone like Joe Barlozzi, Jinxie, IShowSpeed, Kaisenet, or Aiden Ross, or any of those types of people, right? The ones that are a lot more equivocally closer to viewbotting or not viewbotting. People like those, and again, I'm going to mention the names here because lots of top streamers are just afraid of naming out who bots and who, who view bots their streams. Look, let me change the question. If you're a really large streamer, and you clearly know somebody's breaking rules of conduct, and they're clearly a right-wing extremist, and they're clearly a dumb asshole on the internet, and they're breaking the rules, and they're telling you that they're view-botting, and that they're using the friend card to make sure that you don't tell them, and you don't tell the public that they're view-botting, I won't tell you. Do you think that it's a great time to at least tell everybody who's view-botting? Because then it'd make the view-botting issue a lot less worse, a lot less worse, right? So look, let me give you a few set of things that I feel should be guidelines type of thing we follow on Twitch, right? And on YouTube, same on YouTube, you can view bot on YouTube. Before mentioning how much it costs to view bot, there are a lot of people who can affordably find ways to view bot channels effectively in dark markets. Dark markets exist, and before you try to bring in how long a viewer stays or chat interaction and how much people interact, I want to ask you this question. If you blatantly know that somebody is viewbotting and they're telling you that, and it's a top streamer within the top 500, right? Top 500 streamers, and they're telling you that they're viewbotting, why are you not fucking reporting this bitch asshole out to Twitch? Why are you not doing that? Why are you not calling their names out? There's nothing that stops you from doing so. Using the friend card is not going to be an excuse for a long time. And in an era where constantly people are trying to minimize their mistakes or their illegal conduct, or people trying to minimize their violence and their aggressions and their discrimination, when people are trying to minimize those things, don't you think that trying to incentivize people to make friend circles to hide their tracking is sort of literally going to continue to invest and incentivize these people to do it further? Because you're investing in these channels, and you're investing time in your friends, and basically allowing them to view bot and get away with it. So I think that we should have, number one, if you clearly know somebody's up to no good and clearly doing rule breaking behavior that not only rigs the platform and not only affects other people's performance and their cash flow, if you're affecting this and you're affecting impressions, I think you should definitely expose that person the time that you get that information and say, hey, this person told me that, and they showed me and they told me, and it's the very person themselves telling me that they're viewbotting, right? Or they're asking people to viewbot their channel. When you have this information, I think you should be doing that as a job as you're a streamer, to be doing that. Number two, when you're a streamer and you're very huge and you're very massive, I think you should be using your voice more in scenes that are in regards to surveillance, internet surveillance, lobbying, Kids Act, COPPA 2.0, COSA, the Kids Online Safety Act, the chat control, EU chat control 2.0. I think you should be using your voice as a streamer to help politicians that are anti-surveillance to get these issues out of the way, so you're not making content talking about the next worst update within the next 7 days every week. So every week something's horrible happening. If you want to stop that, I think you should use your clout, if I must say, as a streamer to talk to other people and say, hey, I hate surveillance. I don't want my information being surveilled by the government and stolen against me, used against me in court without my permission, especially invading my home without my permission, right? You hate that? Well, use your friends who have massive platforms and tell them to advocate for anti-surveillance efforts. And at times you realize lots of Republicans hate that idea of not wanting to surveil their citizens, and Republicans want to surveil their citizens. So just telling you, Democrats are the same thing. Same thing. We need to get horrible APAC funded Democrats out there who also support surveillance. You should use your cloud as a streamer to be able to do so. I think it's easy for you to use your millions of followers along with the millions of followers of your other friends combined and accumulated to be able to do a reason, because every time you show complacency and you're compliant to those rules and algorithms, while not also simultaneously trying to expose your friends for obviously breaking the rules and doing illegal shit on the background. If you're not able to do that as a streamer, you're showing signs of somebody who's not credible, who is not securely going to be put in my base of people who are against surveillance. All you do is yap, right? Number 3, here's my third standard, the guideline you should follow when you stream. 3, you're responsible as a streamer to deal with viewers who are spreading out some really stupid narratives out there with your name, your face, trying to spin things around, saying that because this person does this, I should be able to do it and I should force this thing on people. You're responsible for your community. Most of streamers at the top are, most of the time, they never address the community and criticize them as much as that they're supposed to. It's not that you only criticize the community, your community. When you criticize your community, you need to structurally make sure that you filter out the people who are causing this very thing. You should basically ban people who are racists, destroy people who discriminate. You should remove everybody who's childishly just supporting for discrimination and racism in violation of the amendment. You should clearly start banning people who are not only gatekeeping this community and are banning people based on really, really simple standard crazy vague things, right? They should start removing people, not hiring moderators that act like toddlers whenever somebody actually beats them in a debate, in a conversation, in a Discord server, or in your Twitch chat, or in your YouTube stream, right? You should probably not hire moderators that are so filled of themselves and are airheaded pricks who don't want people correcting them and then rather than banning them when they are done with them, right? You don't want to hire moderators that are incompetent. So, and another thing with the community, when you criticize your community, they're filled with all sorts of demographics and age ranges of people, but mainly whatever major demographic you have, you should criticize them the way you should do it. We already had Joe Bartolozzi, which is an example. Joe Bartolozzi is a Twitch streamer. He at least went out there and said, hey, if you really hate black people, you should get the fuck out of my stream. If you're being a fucking racist and you're talking about black people in these ways, you should get the fuck out of my stream. And I'm like, there you go, backbone, show them backbone. At times, you need to realize, okay, I don't want to have a community of dumbass Muslim fellas who are racist and use me as an excuse to be racist online because all these people from this large community accept me as a racist. You shouldn't be allowing a community to form around where racists are using your community as an excuse to be racist then because everybody else is allowed to be racist in a fraction of the community. Not saying all the community is racist, but a large fraction that is a lot more vocal and noisy than the more smart, intelligent side of the community, right? So there's noise, your community causes noise, and in return, you know, from the intelligence and beautiful memories you can make from your community, there's always a side of the community where it's noisy, and you get the side effect of having such a large community. Which is why I tell you that when you can't point out viewbots and you can't expose your friends who are viewbotting, I don't think they're real friends. They're just trying to make money, and they're using your silence as money, right? as a way to make money and get away with it. Second, if you are not able to, talk against anti-surveillance, and you think that everything's political in nature, you're a stupid prick, you're a pussy, and you're a coward. If you can't talk about anti-surveillance, and you are oftenly scared by the government, and you don't want to talk about politics in your channel, you're a stupid hypocrite, and everybody else who's a right-wing Republican would most likely talk about those things on their channel. And the third one is, already the community is a byproduct of your nature, right? You abided by them for a long while until you now they abide by you. And whenever they're being racist and using you as an excuse to be racist, that's a whole different thing. And those are three things I think are essential to a Twitch streamer in order to deal with these types of things. And number four is really essential for part of these things. A Twitch streamer, if I must be blunt, should not be somebody who is, using their wealth to use philanthropy as a shield. If you're one of those streamers who uses philanthropy as a shield while doing crypto, gambling, taking money, doing gacha game streams, and literally permitting and further inspiring gambling, that gambling epidemic that's on the rise right now at the moment, because not only do we have right-wing echo chambers, you now have gambling, and these things become really big, worse, and these become issues later in the future. So once these things are no longer a hype, right? Let's say the internet changes again, the algorithm changes, the trends different. Whenever these things are no longer trends, that addiction that people get from those gacha games, those gambling things that you promoted, those crypto finance, those little anonymity, privacy things, those things that you do, whatever you promote will become somebody's addiction. And you never know who's addicted until you actually ask who's doing these things, right? Tell them, hey, how many of you do this thing periodically? You will find out the answers right away, because they'll tell you that, and they'll tell you like it's a good thing, saying that, oh, I'm on this game for 6 days a week. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And you're gonna find out there's a lot of those people, and so you're responsible for those things. Yes, your voice is a large voice. You're a large voice. You're responsible for not only ensuing and aiding in these epidemics. If you're a dumb streamer and you don't have a brain, at least if you don't have a brain and suddenly you get famous, something is severely wrong with this algorithm. So, which I'll get to point number 4 is be a competent streamer, right? And be able to say the truth as a streamer, right? But you also, in the 4th point, also need to be able to be aware of your effect on the human beings that you literally entertain almost every day. So, number 1, give accountability to bad actors, right? Number 2, right? You should be able to tell who's doing who in the government, right? You should be able to speak on the government. Number 2, you should speak on the government. You should be able to say these things. It's not always politics and who's right and who's who, right? Number 3, all right? You're responsible for what your community does. Number 4, you should be aware of your effect psychologically on those very communities. You have mental health, they also have mental health. They're not just random bots on your stream, as much as, remember, if you Viewbot, you're as much responsible for causing the addiction to somebody. Alright? Yes, you are. That's why whenever you go on streams, you can always put in a little disclaimer, and not everybody has to do this, but I feel like people should be doing this randomly at different points in streams, at different weeks, right? Saying, hey, guys, remember, I'm just a streamer. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on these things. I don't know actual sciences, the level, the professional, not professional on these things. I'm just a streamer doing things to entertain you guys, right? I'm entertaining you guys. I'm not know-it-all. If you at least say that on your streams, you would know. That's at least a gesture and a manner towards the people who think that you're some smart know-it-all. They're literally, yes, they're genuine people who would listen to you and think you're actually a know-it-all who knows what they're talking about and will take your information and what you say as factual. You gotta be real careful, because some people, if they can't have a friend in real life and they can't make social connections in their real life, they will use you as a social connection and get parasocially attached to you and think that you're the factual source of information. And if I ever debate such person that you don't take accountability for in the future, and they start venting it out on me by saying that using you as an excuse card, then we start to see the issues there, right? We need to make sure that population of people are the very smallest, not the half of it or the third, right? They need to be less than 1% of the audience that you have. If you can't do that, then you're not a real streamer. You're just a entertainer. And entertainers are not always know-alls. Not all of them. I drank water there. Stay safe out there. G-Blade, make it iconic. Whatever you say about me is what you say about society. I'm the Project Net Bananas for 8 years. Leave a subscription on this channel. We're trying to get to 10K. Leave a like. And again, it's crazy I'm saying we're trying to get to 10K already. Back then in the day, I would have thought that getting to 10K was really ridiculous. So, know your rights. Protest peacefully. Go out there and protest. Fuck fascism. Fuck Trump. And don't be the idiot who tries to cause violence and make us look bad on TV, right? Don't be the dumbass who tries to steal a store during so, right? When we did No Kings, we didn't have lots of those people. We had very small cases in which people tried to do something very sneaky. So, on the largest day of protest, remember that a lot of people went out there and not a single one tried to commit a crime of the severe kind. So, anyhow, there's hope out there, and if you're viewbotting as a streamer, you're a coward and you're a dumbass. And if you're somebody who knows somebody's clearly viewbotting at the top 500, stop trying to get in the way of somebody else's success by further ensuing and inspiring somebody else to continue their bullshit on the line. So if you're one of those people who continue to inspire people to viewbot or allow them to viewbot and break the rules without breaking the rules and continuing to tell them that it's okay to do, and they're using you as a friend card. By using you as a friend card, these people continue to viewbot themselves in the top 500. By then continuing to do so, not only worsens the problem, and not only does it allow others to do the same, you're also contributing to the very damage that Twitch is undergoing, Kick, and YouTube. So don't contribute to that problem, and that's all I have to say.